Okay, let's close this and let's create a proper floor, shall we? So let's delete this and let's grab a let's go to look depth. It's gonna be faster. Let's grab a circle, okay, and move it to the middle more or less. In fact, wait, let's create 100 verts, okay, then move it to the middle. So come on, G, move it in here and scale it. Then drop a face in here and just extrude it downwards, it's fine. Now go to side view and we're just gonna move it down. And make sure it really sits on the floor, yeah? That's important. So, you know, okay. And is it not too deep? I think it's a bit too deep. There we go. And now let's grab a color from the top. So you know what, we could actually grab this one, it's okay. Again, the same one. We might change it to something else, but in fact we could to maybe something different. So wait a minute. Let's add a new material and make it kind of dark-ish, non-metallic and rough. And let's grab some clear coat on it. Maybe make it a bit darker. Let's go to cycles and see how we're looking, especially in camera view. So now you can move it, yeah? You can move it because camera gonna go this way. So we can scale it or just move it. It's up to you what you're gonna do with it. But let's go back to this view and see how we're looking. We're looking pretty good. It's too big, so let's scale it down. Now we're just gonna simply try to align it in an interesting way. This is still too large. It needs to go like this, I think. It's still too large. This could be acceptable. I'm trying to cut it not too low, not too high. I think it's still too high. Let's try to cut it in here. Yeah, this is perfect. I'm treating these like normal legs, as if it was a human being, so I don't want to cut it in joints. In fact, this is still too large. I want to cut it a little bit below this cut in here, okay? This opening. And now we will need the plane. Let's grab a plane and let's move it in here. Let's rotate it on the y-axis. And let's scale it, okay, on y as well, and then scale it on z. Copy this color, so I mean the material. Go to top view, orthographic, and rotate just this one, okay, like this. Now where the light is coming from we need to see, so what we're gonna do is go here, scroll down to film, and turn off the transparent if you have it on. So light is coming from there, which is fine. Not ideal, mind you, but it's fine. We could use a reflector on the other side, so what we could do is actually copy this one. So go to top view orthographic, copy this one, move it in here, like this, okay? Where is it? Here. And let's remove the material from this one and just add a blank one, okay? So remove it, add a blank one. It needs to be rough, non-metallic, and preferably white, so, or white-ish. And this is what's a plane 18, alright? So let's go here, let's grab this plane 18 and move it closer, okay? Do not move it to the camera view, but close. And rotate it and see how we're looking. We see this. This light, in my opinion, should be slightly, you know, rotated to somewhere here. Where's the camera? Camera is here. It's actually, I think it's fine. We're getting a little bit too much of a reflection over there, so we might actually move this in here and rotate it like this. This could be better. So let's see that. Yeah. See, because in the previous, when the plane was here, we were getting too much light on the handle. What I want is the light being bounced back on the whole gun, which this is what happens now, because the light is coming from somewhere from there and bounces back to this one. So we could actually even rotate it a little bit, so like this, and this should be good. We see that? Yeah, it's a bit better even. So now we could actually try to render it. Okay, this could look good. It's a little bit too high. We could use a bit more space because this space is redundant, you see. So what we're gonna do is grab the page down and lock to view, and we're just gonna move it down a little bit, but we're gonna also rotate the camera up like that, so it's gonna be a bit more aggressive look, right? Somewhere here. Do not cut this leg at the back off, okay? We want that leg, otherwise it's gonna be silly. Also, I'm not crazy about this cutting here, these things being cut off, so I'm gonna move it a little bit down so it's not being cut so deeply. Make sure the stock is in the camera as well. This is not easy, guys, because you need to pay attention to several things at the same time. So I don't want this leg to be cut by the bottom of the camera. I want the stock and the barrel in camera, and I want this gap in here, okay, between the magazine handle and this, and I don't want too much space in here. At the same time, we have a little bit of space for the name. We could actually even move it a little bit lower, like here. This is a good render for this gun. So now let's save this, and if everything is peachy, we're gonna add emission and some gloss here on the front, right? So let's run another render. Okay, these renders are really quick, by the way, so let's just zoom it in. Yeah, see, that looks decent. That looks decent. I like it. That looks quite decent. We definitely need some gloss in here and some emissions, but we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. Okay, so let's cancel this and let's add the gloss and emissions. So, alright, so page down and unlock from view, otherwise you're gonna move it. And let's actually grab these and move them to render. So M, and not this one. Press M and move them to render. And it's turned off, which is exactly what we want. So now let's go to look dev. We are in look dev, perfect. And let's actually add some those lights here, right? So let's remove this matte from here, add a new one, and click on principled, click on emission, and change it to something reddish, and increase the scale, the strength, sorry. Whoa, that's actually crazy. Something like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 5 should do. And something reddish. This will look good with bloom, by the way. So if you go to EV, we're gonna be using a compositor for it. So see, with bloom, it's gonna look actually pretty cool as this bloom effect. So let's copy these two and let's copy the color. You could make a different color if you wanted to. That's okay too. And this one's gonna be aligned too, in fact. So we could copy this. Whoa. In fact, you could make a new one in here. So make it, I don't know, blue maybe. So change principle to emission and change it to blue. Increase the strength a little bit. It's a bit strong though. Maybe it's too strong. I think it's a bit too strong. You know what? Let's just I'll tell you what. Let's just make it black. So something like this. And now we do need glass in here, right? So remove this material and new, and then principled glass, and we need to enable a few things. So you need to enable refraction, otherwise you're not going to be able to see it. And I'm gonna copy to the front. So let's change it to something bluish and really dark. Okay, that's much more like it. Cool, looking good. Let's see how it looks in cycles. Yeah, looks pretty decent, So also this should be a light as well, by the way. So let's just copy it here. Copy the same one. So click on both and copy. It should be fine. Yep. This actually could be a little bit more, I mean, less crazy. Light that doesn't blind you. And you could change colors in here. All you need to do simply is remove one and switch it to something different. Maybe this color would be better. That's actually really strong. Could change the saturation a bit, make it, you know, a little bit less saturated, and this power actually is fine. All right, where's the camera? So grab this and go here, and let's re-render this, shall we? You know what? Maybe there's too many of them flashing. Maybe just one could be switched off. So grab this, and you know what? We could turn it to glass. Where is this? Grab this, the small one, and click on the glass and literally turn it off. So not all of them are on, you know. It's just that's just too crazy. So alright, so now we can actually render it again and see how we're looking. I'm not quite sure if this background is dark enough or maybe fun enough. Maybe we should make it metallic or something and make it less reflective. It's reflecting a lot because of this clear coat. So let's see. This is cycles. No, this is Eevee. Let's go to cycles because I really cannot see that. It's such a huge difference between cycles and Eevee in terms of materials that you literally can't see the difference. It's incredibly large. So what I'm aiming for is I don't want this background to be too dark, at the same time I don't want it to be too bright. So I'm trying to, you know, find the middle point in here. What we could also manipulate with, and I think we will, is the exposure. Okay, so let me see. Make it rougher but slightly brighter. I think this is gonna be good. Now what we could do here, right, under render, if you go down here to film, you could change the exposure of the HDRI, so pump it up a little bit, right, to maybe 1.1 or maybe even 1.2. This could do, so it's gonna be a bit brighter, yeah. And this should do. This plane is way too far. I don't know why is it so far. Let's move it closer. This plane needs to be just outside of the camera view, okay? So it needs to be just outside the frame. So select it and move it closer, literally. You know, somewhere here. Even closer. Ah, that's too close. There you go. See how much light it reflects. And now we need to rotate it so it doesn't reflect so much light on the handle. I want it to be a little bit more flat. So see, it's too close. Move it a little bit further. There you go. Let's see that. Not sure if this is not too bright, but I think it's gonna be okay. Let's go back for a second to our shader editor. Go to world, switch to Eevee for 1 second, and I want to just check something. Okay, I want to rotate this HDRI a bit. So it's coming from there, but I want to rotate it just a teensy weensy bit and see if it's gonna be better. So where is it? Eevee, let me see that. Maybe something like this, you know. Let's see that now. It's a matter of feeling, really. Just there's no numbers for it. This part is a little bit dark for my liking, so let me see that. Let me see that. Maybe I move it a little bit here and rotate it. So it's easy. I rotate it like this. And see that now? Yeah, that's I think better. Okay, let's give it a shot, guys. Let's give it a shot. So let's save this, right? And let's give it a shot. So let's render it. Now the first thing that I don't like is that the gun is I think a little bit too low. Also this bit really annoys me, sticking out one. This should be a little bit higher. And I don't know, but this part is a bit too dark for my liking. It's a little bit too dark. We're gonna rotate this HDRI a bit. There is no such thing as perfect render, but you really want to spend time on your renders if you really want your stuff to look good, because the devil is in the details, guys. That's where the magic happens, in the time spent on rendering. Maybe we could risk something like this, you know, backlight it. And, you know, let's see this, bring it closer. Maybe I could actually make it shorter, so I could move it actually here, so it doesn't reflect so much light on the back. I will need to move it a little bit further, so let me see that now. This could be better. Yes, this is much better. Okay, and now this gun is a little bit too low, so what we're gonna do is hide this and page down and lock to view, and I'm gonna grab this gun and I'm literally gonna move it up a little bit. Okay, not too high, but a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. We can put here on the bottom some text here, and in the bottom some maybe watermark, and some more text in here. This is not easy because of the tripod. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult. We could actually try Dutch angle, which means skewed like this. This could also work. You see what I mean? A little bit more aggressive. Actually, this could work. Now, this bit in here could be removed in Photoshop, or we could literally rotate this gun a little bit to the right, and this will remove it naturally from the composition, right? The only problem now is I don't see this leg at the back, and I really like this leg. So this is really tough. Or we could move it a little bit back and show a bit more of this leg here, and this would make sense then. You see what I mean? Something like this, and text maybe somewhere at the top. This is tough, guys. Another thing we could do, we could actually change the camera settings. So go here and change it to 60 or even 55. This will introduce a bit more compression, which means we will be dealing with a tighter framing. So this could be interesting too. Let's try this one, shall we? So which means we're gonna be able to show more of the gun. Whoa. I think I moved too far. Let me switch to look dev. And literally, see, camera just went through through this wall here, right? So move it in here and Control 0 and back in action. And now lock camera back to view, and you can start adjusting it. This simply is too close. It's too close. So let's keep playing with it, shall we? Or maybe we could, you know, do something like this. The only problem is, if we do this one, we will need to include the lag, and the lag is massive, right? So we could argue that, you know, this could work as well. Something like this. But this is just too big for me, okay? I want to focus on the gun, not on the feet, right? We don't have a feet fetish, so... we could actually drop it a little bit lower, so we have some space for the text. Or we could go the other way around. We could actually click on the camera and go not 55 but 45, and actually enable ourselves to actually get closer to the gun by simply increasing the distortion and decreasing the field of view. I'm not too crazy about this lag again over there being cut off. Maybe something like this. Again, we could grab the camera and, you know, rotate it a bit like this. This could be interesting. This could actually work, guys. This could actually work. Let's try this. Now, what happened to our lighting? Let's go back to EV in cycles. Also, go back to your camera and unlock it from view so you don't mess it up. This looks pretty peachy, actually. Nice reflection in the scope. Triangle between the lights. That could actually really work. That could actually really work. Now, this one, I think it's a little bit too bright now. The angle of the camera changed, and this will change things, okay? So let's make it a little bit darker. Not too dark, but a little bit darker. Maybe that's too dark. Teensy-weensy bit brighter. Okay, now let me explain you compositing, because it's important before we start rendering. You need to enable this option here, use nodes. And then you're gonna have these two nodes popping up, okay? Then you need to go to your data tab here and enable denoising data. This will enable these options. You need to then Shift A and add filter, add denoise and filter glare. Put them in here, so if I remove them, right, this is how your node setup's gonna look, okay? All you need to do is just simply put them in. So filter, denoise, and filter glare. Switch glare to fog glow and connect these, okay? So denoising normal, denoising albedo. And this will allow you to denoise data in doing render. So let's go in with a power save and let's just render now. And I think we should be good. Now it's rendering, but I want to talk about it a little bit, okay? So let's see here. Let me explain. We have a moment to contemplate our composition. So you see now this is really cool because it's still, in my opinion, a little bit too low, okay? It's a little bit too low in the frame. I think I'm gonna lift it just a teensy image. It's a really difficult shot, but I like it because, you know, we have space at the top, space at the bottom. This could be a bit taller. This could be a bit taller, as in this whole thing could be a little bit, you know, towards the top. I just don't want to show this like on the bottom. That's my problem, right? Well, this looks good, but as I said, I want to move it a bit up. Sorry guys, but that's just me. So page down. That's how I literally render my stuff. I'm showing you exactly the process I go through when I render. I don't muck about with renders. This is a surgical job, okay? You can't muck about with those things because they go in your portfolio, okay? See that? That's where I'm gonna cut it. And now I have more of a gun in the frame. It looks a bit more aggressive, and I think I'm happy with this. Even more so aggressive. I like it. Okay, let's get this done. Let's get this done. So let's try to render this. I think this is it. I think this is it. For every single shot, by the way, I will be changing lighting and background. I mean, I will be because when you rotate your camera, you do not have to rotate the light, but you need to make sure that the angle you're shooting from actually is well lit, right? I mean, the object that you're shooting is well lit from the angle you're shooting it from, right? So you see, like in this case, everything is evenly lit. Okay, we have some highlights here and there, which is perfect. We got a bit of reflection on the scope, which is sort of like communicating with these lights here. So there's a triangle, brilliant. There's a massive triangle in here, very powerful. Another triangle in here. Everything is tilted, which is adding dynamism and aggression to this shot. There's a lot of dynamic lines in this gun, so it looks, it looks ready to fire, and it's a little bit tilted up, which is, making it more, even more aggressive. So that's pretty cool. The slightly wider lens, because it's 45 millimeters, which is about 5 millimeters more than human eye, which means it's a bit more distorted, so it adds a bit more drama. So you see, that's how my brain works when I'm rendering stuff. Okay, you need to take everything into consideration: the distance of this rifle, of the barrel from the edge, this one here, the opening here, if the leg is visible, the gap in here, if this one doesn't stick out and pull attention here. This one now sticks enough for me not to be having to cut it out, because it was sticking just a bit. I'll need to get rid of it. So this one sticks out just enough for me not to have to cut it. Okay, this is like literally almost perfect composition for me. Beautiful line going gently across, softening everything up and contrasting with this aggressive, very decisive shapes of the gun. Perfect. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring it to Photoshop and we're gonna play with it a bit, okay?